It's happened again. I can't believe that my bank has once again denied me the ability to send my money to somebody for purchasing silver coins. I literally had the coins in front of me as well, and the bank said no. And their reason for saying no was just so ridiculous, because the only way I got the bank details from the seller was via email. What are they expecting? Carrier pigeons? We're in the 21st century, but no. The banks have a hold over us, and when they say no, they say no. You cannot change their minds. It's so frustrating and so ridiculous. Is there a conspiracy theory against people trying to buy coins? I don't think there is. It just feels that way because that seems to be my experience of buying stuff. But at the same time, there is this suspension of common sense and the rise of absolute ridiculousness and stupidity that is coming directly from the banks. What on earth can we do about it? Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another Precious Metal Ramble, where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. It's happened again. One of my banks, in fact I'm going to name the bank because it's so bloody ridiculous, Chase Bank, declined one of the payments I was trying to make to somebody when I was buying some silver for an absolutely outrageously ridiculous reason. The reason that they gave to decline the transfer, after, by the way, like 20 minutes of going through all of their scam questions, was, are you ready? I'd only received the bank details via email. What? My initial actual reply to him, and I've got the voice recording of the phone, I just don't think I can publish that, though, in the UK. I think our privacy laws are different. And of course, there's also private personal information in there about me, so I can't publish the call. But my initial reaction was, well, what do you expect from me? To get them by carrier pigeon? We're in the 21st century, and a bank has said no to me sending money to somebody when I've got some silver from them right here in front of me, and they've emailed me the bank details. I was absolutely beside myself. And not only because it was so ridiculous, but because the call handler themselves had gone through this entire questionnaire, and that was one of the very early questions, and I was a little bit coy about exactly what I was buying. When they asked, what is it you're buying? I just said, I'm buying some private personal possessions from a third party. No, that's not good enough, sir. We're going to have to find out more about them. And we went back and forward on that for a little bit, and eventually I told them, and it was immediately after I told the call handler that it was coins that I was buying, they said, well, we're still not going to be able to do the transfer for you because you got the bank details by email only. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I am not somebody who believes there is a cabal of bankers somewhere in a big tall tower telling us what we can and cannot spend our money on. But it seems more like that every day. And it's not necessarily that there is a giant conspiracy, but I do genuinely think that there has been a suspension of common sense, and stupidity now reigns across the world of banking. And I know what their argument is and is going to be. We're here to protect you and your money. No, you're not. You're there to protect you and your money, the money that we have deposited into your bank. Because, of course, the rules have changed here in the UK, and now anybody who falls victim to a scam, and look, I've been scammed before myself, and I've had to be paid out by the bank, and it was a bit crap and shit at the time, but there has to be a suspension of the stupidity when the situation I had the coins here in front of me. The person had sent them to me before I even paid. Had them in front of me. Had the bank details. There was even a handwritten note with the bank details written on there from the person. And yet, I was not able to make the transfer. Computer says no. Well, it wasn't even the computer. It was some power-hungry call handler. And I genuinely do believe that the call handler affected this in a way because I was being a little bit coy about what it was I was buying. Now, I was semi-curious when this whole questionnaire came out, and I've done so many of them. I get so frustrated by them because, it shouldn't be that difficult, but it is made that difficult, and you put through the nth degree. And I was completely open and honest and truthful with every single question that they asked. The only thing that I was a little bit coy about was telling them exactly what it was I was buying. I was a bit curious as to see what would come out from that. Would they push further? And they bloody well did. They would not proceed with the call until I told them that it was coins. They were not happy with the fact that I was just buying personal possessions. They wanted to find out exactly what it was. And then this borderline psychopath call handler decided to drop the bomb on me immediately after he had convinced me that I needed to tell him exactly what it was. If he was going to deny putting this transfer through and he knew that was going to happen all the time, then why bother? It's intrusive. The privacy there is absolutely a key thing for me. And it's not even like I'm trying to hide something. I was doing it as a bit of a morbid curiosity more than anything else. And yet I'm treated that way. So what I have done is, it's hilarious, right? So as I was going through all of these stupid things, and then it became obvious that he wasn't going to do it. And, I had this whole carrier pigeon situation, and he wouldn't even answer the questions about what it was that he wanted in terms of me trying to work out where I got the bank details from. The only thing that I can think of would be they are expecting me to have physically met or talked to the person. But then if I'm taking bank details over the phone, there's a transposition potential error there. If somebody's emailed me something, it's more secure in my mind. I've got those exact details. But their argument, no, we've had people scammed where they've been sent the wrong bank details from people. Whatever. The guy sent me the parcel, the coins, and the money, or the bank details, were in the parcel too. So it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so the point was, I raised a complaint. I was like, look, this is absolutely stupid and ridiculous. So complaint time, please. We did that. And as he was doing the complaint, as he'd already rejected the money, I made the transfer from a completely different bank to this person. It went through just fine. And then at the end of the call, I was just like, well, it's been made by another bank. And he had no reply to that. It's just so dumb. It really is so dumb. And it's an illusion of, we're doing this to protect you, sir, rather than what I personally believe is just them being so paranoid and scared about them being on the hook for anything. We're not talking this was huge mega money. We're talking about, it was 900 quid's worth. That's all it was. 900 quid's worth to send. And yeah, that's a lot of money. I get that. I'm not saying that £900 is not a lot of money, but at the same time, there's got to be a suspension of just stupidity here from the banks. And what I don't understand is that, look, they're afraid of getting reimbursement from us if we get scammed, if it's not happening. But there has to be some way that we as consumers can go, hey, look, I understand that you're going to be on the hook for this, but I'm happy to admit here on a recorded phone call that I will take full liability and responsibility. But they just ignore that. They just don't care. Is there a bigger picture thing here going on? Is there something where people are... is there an agenda against coins? I don't think it's against coins. I mean, I've got that experience because I've bought coins from people before, and then it's like, well, is that something that is on their agenda for me not to have? I don't think so, but it just seems that's always the case for me. And it's not an uncommon situation for other people. I've had that through the Backyard Bullion Buyers Club plenty of times before in the past, where people have been trying to buy things and they just can't get through their bank. The bank just will flat out refuse it, and there is no way that it can be done, and it's just so bad. So I've raised a formal complaint with this bank, with Chase. We'll see what they come back with. I'm fully expecting them to just put some boilerplate terms and conditions based response. But the call handler on there was very specific. He was like, well, we have to know exactly what it is you're sending, and that is written in our terms and conditions. And I've read their terms and conditions just now, the other day after the phone call ended. There is nothing in that terms and conditions document that specifically says that they need to know the exact identity of the goods that you're buying or what it is you're buying. And there is absolutely nowhere in that terms and conditions document that says that you have to get the bank details from something other than just email. It's just that complete suspension of, I don't know what the right phrase is, suspension of just common sense that gets me most. So I think it's just completely ridiculous, and also at the same time very relevant for us as stackers. If you're looking to buy or sell gold and silver on the second hand market, then this is something maybe that you have to think about and deal with. And how are you going to get those bank details from someone? Are you going to have to prove to the bank? I mean, I could have easily said, well, I rang them as well, but then I hadn't. So I was just trying to be completely honest and truthful about the situation. So what are they expecting? And that was my initial response. What were you expecting by carrier pigeon? If I can think, I will try and get that immediate snippet as an audio file and stick it in for you cool kids clubs, because it's hilarious. My reaction, my voice in that little clip sounds a little bit raised, but But I was completely placid throughout the whole conversation. And then when he did this, it was like, well, you could have told me that 20 minutes earlier kind of situation. I didn't shout at him, I wasn't rude, but at the same time, it's like a different side of me that you might see. So I'll put that in if I feel it's appropriate, if I can get that audio file snippeted properly. But it is absolutely stupid. And it's a big consideration if you are just trying to buy or sell things from a private standpoint. And it's one of the reasons why I've kind of just not really been too bothered about the Backyard Bullion Buyers Club anymore. It was so big and successful in the beginning of 2020. When did we start it? 22 or 23? Maybe it's 23. Yeah, it was 23. And it just, we did over £1 million worth of sales, and it was absolutely mental. But then banking regulations changed, and it just started getting so complex and stupid from my perspective that I just was like, well, I'm not bothering anymore. And I think that's really sad. I guess that's like a bit defeatist from our point of view. We're like giving in to these banks that are just trying to dictate how we spend our money. But yeah, it really sucks. I've seen so many other people talking about this as well. There's a thread on the Silver Forum, which I'll link down in the description box below, where you guys can hear or read, all of the other people's absolutely stupid situations that they've been finding themselves in. Yeah, so what I would suggest, what I have is I have like 7 different current accounts with different banks open right now. So as I said, as I was on the phone to this person, I just moved the money into a different account and away it went, and easy peasy. It's just so stupid though, the way it works. And I just don't like it. I think that we're all treated as idiots. We're all treated as complete and utter like money laundering tax dodgers by these banks, and yet we give them all of our money. I just don't like it. I hate it a lot. Right, Cool Kids Club, you need something to quote me down in the comment section. Let's do this one. It's the Three Graces bar. This one is TG000971. Quote me that serial number and I will know that you are super cool. And if you're absolutely the most coolest viewer on our channel, then you'll also quote, what were you expecting? A carrier pigeon? I'll put that clip in now. It should be quite fun for you. We'll catch you all later. Have a great one. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.
Are you actually joking with me? What else am I supposed to do? How else am I supposed to get them? By carrier pigeon? What? We're in the 21st century. What do you expect me to do?